Hey guys, and welcome to another Moon Knight review. So, if you can tell, I'm not in the studio. I'm currently on the road with work, so I'm in the hotel room. So it's not looking as it normally would. It's like down got the intro, you won't have the outro, and you just got this plain background, and it's not very clear webcam image, but we're still going to do our review. I've just managed to finish watching it, and yeah, it's a very good story one. So I'm going to do a little bit of a spoiler-free section first, and then go into the spoilers. So episode 5 is called Asylum, and it literally carries on like the rest of them from the last episode. So, spoiler free. I think this is some of Oscar Isaac's best acting that I have seen him in, anything in. Hands down, especially in this episode. Really, especially in this episode. It's just being able to play two characters under the same circumstance and things, but playing them completely different. But the same as well is just not astronomical, and the things that happen in this episode really does it's just it just shows how good of an actor he actually is, to me anyway. I really enjoyed his acting in it. We didn't get to see much more of the other characters in it, so there was a bit of voiceover. So last week we had a CG character brought in, and instead of having the actor there and delivering the lines, I made it sound a bit more embedded in the actual scene. You could tell that it was done in post-production, because a lot of these things they have to redo the voiceovers anyway, and this one just didn't fit. It's like, obviously it's a big CG character, but it's like the sound was different, because it wasn't in the same setting as where Oscar Isaac's audio was being recorded. So yeah, it was a little bit off in my opinion there. Very heavy story this one is, so a lot of people probably wouldn't like it because it's very slow compared to the other episodes, but we finally got a lot of answers in this episode. I mean, a lot of answers. So I quite enjoy that, to be honest. It's like it's good that we've had these answers, and now we can continue with the finale next week. What's going to happen? I think next week is going to be a very long episode, if I say so, because there's a lot needed to be done. So yeah, I think that is it for the spoiler free. Oscar Isaac, top notch, top job. Yeah. So I'm gonna just end the spoiler free bits on giving a rank for this. So I'm gonna give this episode probably a 7 out of 10. I would have liked to have seen a bit more, a little bit more action and things in it, a little bit more expanding on some of the scenes and things like that. But yeah, it was still a good episode, in my opinion. So a 7 out of 10 really on that. So that is your spoiler warning over now. So I'm gonna carry on with some spoiler things. So if you haven't watched it yet, then click on that pause button, go off, watch it, and come back, and then pop some comments down below, and we'll have a chat about this episode. Right then. Whew. Okay, so spoiler territory now then, guys. So yeah, it kicks off with Marc still in this asylum, and after the little tiny intro bit, we come straight back in, and Marc's back in Dr. Harrow's office with a busted up nose and all things like this. And yeah, it's like then all of a sudden then it flashes back to the bit where it's with the hippo, and it was that god. I can't remember the name now, but it is actually that god of protects mothers and children. It's a bit strange that they are the one that's like looking after the souls. Who knows? But yeah, so if she does say then, I'm afraid you are quite dead. So when he got shot, he did die, and this is the Egyptian underworld. So there we go. We now got gods, and we have the afterlife. What's going on with this? Completely new universe, I think, is going on here. But Mark does believe he is actually insane, and he is actually in the underworld. But then he goes through this one door, and you see that my hat looks like it's on this, not sitting straight. There we go. It doesn't feel right now. Anyway, and yeah, so he comes through this door, and he's on a boat going through the sand and things, and yeah, so you're in the Drad or something. I'm not really massively clued up on a lot of my Egyptian mythos, but obviously Steven is, and he's there, and he explains it all. And yeah, so the big hippo goddess pulls out the hearts and says that you have to weigh the hearts with the scales of justice, and it was like constantly doing this, just like it was doing on Harrow's arm, that it's not balanced. His soul isn't balanced, and then it's a massive then journey, and we do find out that it's actually Mark's body, and Steven is a character that Mark made up from that film that we saw last week, and he like says that this is whenever he's like in a bad way, he brings out Steven. So that was really interesting. So Steven like goes off and tries to find out what's going on. So Mark's brother died. He took him into a cave, and it flooded, and his brother was drowned. So his mother was very grief-stricken and blames Mark and beats Mark. And then whenever she comes in to beat him, he goes off into this fantasy world that is Stephen Grant, which I thought was quite interesting, really, and really it's very upsetting, really, to see that is what went on, and how Mark was treated. But we got the answers now that it is actually Mark's body. So one of the last scenes is after his mother, because his mother dies. You don't see how she dies, but she's dead. And he goes out back to his her home and just stays outside, and his father wants to call him in, but he doesn't, and he walks off, and then he like has a bit of a meltdown in the street, and then Steven comes out then, and we learn that is when Steven's kind of taken over all the time then, because it was 2 months prior to this date, and yeah, so we it's pretty deep. It is pretty deep, and we learn about we see the scene where he becomes the Moon Knight as well, and Khonshu says something like your mind is fractured, so you are worthy to be my warrior or something. It's like, what? It's like, yes, you're broken, so you that's perfect. And Steven says he manipulated you from the start. So yeah, that was quite interesting there. So, and it leaves it pretty much that they've got to free Khonshu to give him back the Moon Knight powers to stop Harrow, because all these souls are coming unbalanced and just going straight into this desert sea, and where they will remain for all, because they can't like pass on to like paradise or whatever. So yeah, that's quite interesting there. But obviously his body is dead. He was shot, so he's dead. So he needs the healing powers of the suit. And the only way that happens is for Contra to be freed. So they have to contact now Layla. So that's why I'm saying next week will be probably a very, very long episode there. But am I enjoying this series? It's okay. I'm enjoying parts, and then others I'm like, okay. It's like this is a bit of a downer episode about everything that's going on. So hopefully next week we'll be back up, and hopefully Mark will be able to win some the day, and everything's okay for him. But at the moment, not looking pretty good. But that is, and I'm going to end that review. So next week is the finale, but it's also the 4th of May, which is Star Wars Day. So I am going to be doing first thing in the morning. I'm going to be doing a look at the Star Wars section, because not a lot has been said to come out on next Wednesday. There's only 2 Star Wars items, and make sure I will try and link the video at the end for what's coming to Disney Plus on May. At the end, so do check that out. But there's only 2 Star Wars items coming out on the 4th of May, which is surprising for May the 4th. So I'm gonna do a live on at about 8 a.m. Next Wednesday, just to go through the Star Wars section to see if anything new has come up on there. So yeah, so if there's any surprise drops, so do pop along to that. Click on the subscribe button and the notification bell, which will then tell you when I go live. But other than that, it's like I won't have enough time to do that and watch and do the review. So we're going to do the finale in the evening, and I'm probably going to do it as a live for you guys, so you can pop along and have a chat with me live, and I can read out your comments about what you think of the episode as well. So do come along. I'll try and do it around about between 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, British Standard Time. But yes, I'm going to end that there, guys. So thanks very much for watching, but until next time.